Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Rushabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My sincere apologies for running late, but it's a great delight to come to all of your association and go about Srimad Bhagavatam. So I want to share my screen on. So we're going to go about finding the young Lord within our heart, not only within our heart, actually he's also within all of our hearts. So from today's verse until a couple of days, there's going to be description of this young Lord. Today's verse we're going to hear how in his right upper hand he has a chakra, and then lower hand he has a lotus, and then left upper he has a conch, and then left lower is Gada. Sorry. So, and this Lord is within heart of us, in my heart. I mean, it is a little bit shocking to have such wonderful, spiritual, beautiful personality in my heart, and he is also in the heart of everyone. So that's about today's. We're going to get into those details in today's verse. So, so coming back to this verse, today's verse is we are in the second canto, which is the cosmic manifestation. How Krishna is actually taking care of all these domestic affairs, how he is creating, how he is bringing this whole universe into the form, cosmic manifestation. And the reason for that discussion is that King Parikshit, grandson of Arjuna, he was a great emperor, but he was cursed to die. And he not only is a great emperor, but he's also a great devotee. So what did he do? How did he prepare himself to die is a big point of discussion. So many great sages all over the world, everyone comes And out of all the great sages, he presents his questions to one of the wonderful sage called Sukadeva Goswami, who also happened to be son of Vyasadeva and also a liberated person. So Parshit Maharaj, right after the meeting, he puts his question forward to him, saying that what is the duty of every man? What is the duty of every man in general, and uh, especially who is about to die? So who's about to die? Of course, Sukadeva Goswami tells his bhakti, because that's all about. We are in the bhakti process. We are reading bhakti literature, and we are interacting with the devotees. He says bhakti, but there are also other people who have different inclination and different processes. So he is clarifying those processes and making it bona fide. So much so, in the first chapter, when Sukadeva Goswami was answering the question, he says, of course, you can also, bhakti is the best. Of course, you can also follow meditation. And part of the meditation, you need to come to dharana. So there are different stages of yoga, which goes like yama, niyama, like that. There are 8 stages. So within those 8 stages, one has to come to dharana, and after that, rest of the 2 stages will follow. When Parshit Maharaj was hearing the question, he puts a question right away. Okay, can you tell me Dharanashraya, bona fide process of Dharanashraya, how to attain it? Which means that Dharana means fixing the mind on the Lord. And what is the right object of meditation? Like there are many goals mentioned in this yoga. Some say light, some say this thing. Of course, this Prashmara doesn't say, but he just asks, what is the bona fide process of Dharanashraya? Then Sukadeva Goswami explains, okay, bona fide process of Dharanashraya is, one thing I can recommend is Viratrupa meditation. Viratrupa is for people who are trying to cultivate spirituality. So what is its Viratrupa is like seeing the Lord within this gross manifestation. He says whoever doesn't have the conception of the God, like say it other way, whoever is not able to do bhakti or fix their mind on all beautiful, all loving Krishna, then they can meditate on Lord Paramatma form, super soul form, which we are going to talk about today. But if one is not able to do that as well, then he says do the Viratrupa meditation, which is form a personal conception of the God, seeing the nature outside. So I hope because we are running short of time, not explaining what is that thing. So he finished that, and and how about Devata worship and so on. So Devata worship and so on, like it's not an important factor, especially when one is dying. Especially when one is dying, Devata worship and so on is all for getting what we want and maybe elevating to the heavenly planets or upper planets. He said it's not a good idea, especially if you're dying. It's not a good idea to waste, to spend your time there. Do either of those 3 things: Viratrupa, Paramatma, or Bhakti. So let's go to this verse. Kechit sva dehantar hudayavakase Pradesha matram purusham vasantam chaturbhujam khanja ratanga sanka gadadaram dharanaya smaranti. Kechit, others, swadehantara, within the body, hrudayavakase, in the region of the heart, pradesha matram, measuring only 8 inches, purusham, the personality of Godhead, vasantam, residing, Chaturbhujam, with 4 hands, Khanja, lotus, Rathanga, wheel of chariot, Sanka, conch shell, Gadadaram, and club, and with a club in the hand, Dharanaya, conceiving in that way, Smaranti, do meditate upon him. So Virat Rupa is done, Devata worship is done. Now he is coming back to Paramatma meditation. So that he is telling there are other people who are qualified, who are more qualified than Virat Rupa meditators or Devata worshippers. They will find within the heart, Swadehanta, within the body, within one's own body, Hridaya Avakase, in the region of the heart, here, Pradesa Matram, only measuring only 8 inches, they find Purusha, the personality of Godhead, residing with 4 hands. There's qualified people. It might be a little bit odd for us. There are people who are qualified. Qualified people, they're able to find 8 inches Lord, 8 inches Lord within the heart with 4 hands, and he is also carrying lotus in one hand, lotus, kanja, and Rathanga, wheel of chariot, and Shanka, conch shell, and Gadadaram with a club in the hand. So they think of him and they meditate upon the Lord. So just a little detour. Why we should meditate? Why we should do this dharana? Like, what is the importance of it? Is that Sanya Mataji covered nicely yesterday, saying that, she said in a way that people are thinking about nuclear weapons and everything. Imagine how the future is going to hold when the mind are thinking. My mind is engaged in this, very destructive things. So, where we fix our mind, that's what we're going to do. It's a full stop statement. Krishna confirmed it clearly. Especially in the 8th chapter, he says, whatever you think at the time of living, Arjuna, you're going to attain to that state. So, of course, then Krishna encourages, do think of me. You don't need to stop doing your duty. He says, of course, you're a warrior, and of course, it may be hard for you to think on the battlefield, but you have to do it. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. You think of me and do the fight. So it's pretty important that the mind is in the right place. Otherwise, it's we're going to continue the same old cycle. We are lucky if you're going to continue the same old cycle, but it's going to be more problematic, troublesome. Minimally, when the day progresses, one's body capacity, both gross and subtle body capacities will reduce, and then one will get to the situation of vyadi, disease, and then jara, old age, and then for sure death is going to come. So that's minimum. And what to speak if the mind is engaged in not at all good things or destructive things. Like basically we are putting ourselves into great trouble, by leaving the mind the way it is. So these are all the processes that try to detach the mind from this material conception and bring it to spiritual conception, because that's who we are. So, Virat or Paramatma meditation and bhakti processes. So, translation goes like this. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead residing within the body in the region of the heart and measuring only 8 inches and with 4 hands carrying lotus, a wheel of chariot, a conch shell, and a club, respectively. So Prabhupada is going to very nicely explain about this 4 different instruments Vishnu is carrying here, Paramatma is carrying. The all-pervading personality of Godhead resides as Paramatma in the heart of each and every living entity. The measurement of the localized personality of Godhead is estimated to expand from the ring finger to the end of the thumb. I think something like this, I believe. More or less 8 inches. The form of the Lord described in this verse with the distribution of different symbols, beginning from the lower right hand. Lower right hand up and down to the lower left hand. It starts with lotus on the lower right, and then wheel of chariot in the up, and the left up is conch shell, and left down is club, respectively. And is called Janardana, or the plenary portion of the Lord, who controls the general masses. We also know Jana Ardhana, who is a controller of the Janas, general masses. There are many other forms of the Lord with varied situations of the symbols of lotus, conch shell, etc. And they are differently known as Purushottama, Achyuta, Narasimha, Trivikrama, Rishikesha, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarshana, Sridhara, Vasudeva, Damodara, Janardana, Narayana, Hari, Padmanabha, Vamana, Madhusudana, Govinda, Krishna, Vishnumurti, Adokshaja, and Upendra. So these 24 forms of the localized personality of Godhead are worshipped in different parts of the planetary systems. And each system, there is an incarnation of the Lord having different Vaikuntha planet in the spiritual sky, which is called the Paravyoma. So when we are engaging our mind on these lords, Krishna also tells, but if you think of me and leave the body, you're going to attain me. So different devotees have the different inclinations. Like some people like Narasimhadeva, some people like Vamana, some people like Krishna, some people like it in the Govinda form. So they all have their specific places, and they're going to get there. So there are many other hundreds and scores of different forms of the Lord, and each and every one of them has a particular planet in the spiritual sky, of which this material sky is only a fragmental offshoot. The Lord exists as Purusha, or the male enjoyer, although there is no comparing him to any male form in the material world. But all such forms are Advaita, non-different from one another, and each of them is eternally young. The young Lord with 4 hands is nicely decorated as described below. So that's about the today's verse and purport, dear devotees. This Paramatma meditation, how does it matter to the devotees? We can have questions like that. It is helpful, especially I remember when I was taking up this process of Krishna consciousness. I was alone, in the sense like not married, and the family is not following, and instead family people are telling, you should not do it. This is ISKCON, this Krishna, you have to stay away, and so on. That's one part of pressure. Another part of the pressure is that, I was chanting, I was observing like Gaur Purnima with, so many mystical things I was doing when I was with, wonderful association of the wonderful devotees. So one side, people are pressurizing to not go for it. Everyone, friends, relatives, everyone actually, they even, gave good warnings. On the other side, you see when you chant, it's a different, and especially that Gaur Purnima day came. Actually, this is the time actually, my anniversary years. So, I was devotees, and it happened to be holiday. I was hanging out with the devotees, and they were full length engaged in services, chanting so many rounds and full day services, fasting for a beginner, who was just getting in, doing all these mystical things scared me in the sense like what's happening. I never heard Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. We are also coming from religious people, or on more to it, they're also telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I never heard of it and all those things. I was going through internal dilemma. And then my teacher told, Venkat, if you're sincere, Krishna is going to send all the nice gifts, since the pure gifts to you. But if you are not sincere, Krishna within the heart, he will reciprocate in that way. So that's the time, the super soul conception helped me a lot. I don't know, where God is, who God is, and I don't know for sure, but for sure, I'm convinced that there is God within the heart. So, okay, I'm going to go for it. Oh my God within the heart, please protect me, please guide me, and went on. So, and that is one part. Another part is also, of course, it doesn't mean like, especially like I can tell about me, I'm a practicing devotee. I'm not that fully attracted to Krishna yet. There are times I do shift away. I do get, turned away with fears and doubts and so on. So we can take help of this different process of Viratrupa meditation, seeing the Lord within the nature, or Paramatma meditation, Lord within the heart, feeling that Lord is there within the heart. Especially today's verse is very beautiful in the sense that he is right within our heart. And it's right in the region of the heart, Hridaya Avakase. And his measurements also said it's like he is like 8 inches. Pradesa matram swadehataha. And not only that, he is actually, let me share this image. He is actually carrying 4 different instruments. For he is in 4 hands, and he is carrying. So Prabhupada says, right, the right lower is right lower is lotus, and right upper is chariot, wheel of chariot, and then lower up is conch shell and club. Not only that, oh my God, he's looking so beautiful, spiritual, peaceful, right? And there's a beautiful description. So if we can bring our heart to this Paramatma, we're going to have a very wonderful time. And also, not only, we will do a great leap in our search for happiness. If we can find heart, we can find Paramatma in our heart through this reading of these verses. More so, if we can do it, if we can see it in others also, there is no place for any anxiety for us. So that's all about today's discussion, today's verse. Finding young Lord within our heart and within everyone's heart. And upcoming verses is more description about what are the things he's wearing, and about his eyes and smile and so on. That's it, devotees. Any of you want to say anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept mine.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class in the morning. The past few days have been so beautiful. Everyone is bringing more and more nectar than today. You not only gave the beautiful darshan of the four-handed Lord in our hearts, but also gave some glimpse about what you as a young devotee went through. That's so nice. I also could picturize as you were talking about the destination that we choose. It's like somebody gave me a ticket saying you can go anywhere in the world, and then instead of me choosing to go to new like Brindavan or Mayapur, I'm going to choose to go to some like a tourist spot. So so, thank you, Prabhuji. It was really eye opener in certain ways. Thank you.
Thank you for encouraging, Prabhu. It's also your sincerity. I think Krishna is empowering. And the point you made about the destination selection is also inspiring to me. Also, the discussion is all about person who is going to die, but we're also going through this situation, and where we're bringing our mind is pretty important in relation to what you're telling, that the destination we're choosing. So it's inspiring me to fix my mind, or to pay a second of consciousness on the Lord before taking up. At least I wish to do at least once in a day. So that's thank you for inspiring, Prabhuji. Yeah. Certainly this form of this description form of the Lord is like way inspiring and soothing. Much gratitude to our dear Srila Prabhupada, who is giving this access to us through this Srimad Bhagavatam narrations. And this, which Srimad Bhagavatam is all about bona fide discussions. Like, a great emperor is asking a great sage, what is the bona fide process? What is the object of meditation for Dharnashaya? And because Sukadeva Goswami is telling, by Dharnashaya one can get over it. And then Parshit Maharaj immediately picked up, okay, what's the bona fide process? How do we attain it? So one following the yoga, bringing the mind to the form of Paramatma. Yeah. I'll also share this. I'm not able to find the reference. Maybe it is there in the first canto 6, 7, 8 chapters, where Prabhupada was explaining about Brahma Jyoti, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And he was interestingly saying that form of the Lord, which has a personal reciprocation, that is Bhagavan. Where there is no personal reciprocation, like in where there is like neutral, is Paramatma. That kind of stuck to me, in the sense that it is obviously better and easy to meditate on Paramatma, but if you go for Krishna, it is much better because Krishna reciprocates. Of course, Paramatma also reciprocates, but not in a personal way. But let's say differently. Paramatma, if he starts reciprocating, then he becomes Krishna, Bhagavan. So I was remembering that, like, go to, even if you can get to the meditation on Krishna, it's much more beautiful. Any case.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you for the nice class yesterday.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I mean, on a personal note, I would say I remember those early years of yourself. I mean, this young person, young boy, who is always religiously fixing the speaker and recording Maharaj's class. I thought he's of a technical background, so that's it. I had no idea he's going to be wanting to be a Mahabhagavata himself. I thought he can be technical assistant. That's all right for this young person. But it is very nice to see you grow up, Prabhu, into this very devotee of Bhagavatam. Great devotee of Bhagavatam. Then my question was this regarding the super soul. Why do we have that 8 inches, physical dimension specified? Because the Paramatma is present in such small living entities in their hearts. So why do we have that physical stipulation of 8 inches? This thing.
First of all, thank you for your blessings, Mataji. It is certainly a fortunate situation, for me, being in the situation of receiving the, being blessed. It's a really real for sure an advancement in my life.
Krishna.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you for keep blessing us, the younger souls like us. And the size of the Paramatma, I did not hear anything specifically. I only tell whatever little thoughts I have. I also thought about it. You're specifically saying, why is this size? And the response is, why not this size? Actually, then we can also ask, why the 4 hands, or why this configuration, and so on. Or other way to say it is, by clearly fixing, he is 8 inch and then 4-handed, bluish, and he's smiling, and then he's carrying the conch shell, this thing, that thing. It really saves us from speculation and distractions. So if you are not told, how, Sandhyamati looks like, obviously many people have, may not have seen, whoever hearing your voice, and they will obviously think, such, young lady, because of your voice and so on. And even if people have seen you, they'll still think they'll see you as young only. But only when they come and talk to you, then they will say, okay, you're most elderly personality in our community for us, right? So giving a description, really keeps things easy, especially in terms of God. We are very fortunate. That's what I'm appreciating so much, that hearing from the Bhagavata, hearing from these great people, is that this point of discussion, Dharnashraya. What is the bona fide process of Dharnashraya? That's the question here. And presenting things as it is.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. But very beautiful.
That's my thought, Mataji. Also, please add.
I did not. I've heard this question being sort of being out there, but I don't have a clear idea yet in my mind why that 8 inches. Anyway, as you said, everything is specific about the Lord and how his features, personal features. And it's a very beautiful picture you have out there. And it is so very such a big wonder that even in the body of these little insects and worms,
I thought about that actually, like how is that he is there in the Paramatma, is there in the atoms also. And the response thought I got is there is a banyan tree in the seed of a banyan.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I forgot. Thank you, Prabhu. That is what it is. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
There.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I came out, but I was hearing your class. So I was just asking that same question, Prabhu, to Aruda Mataji when I heard this, right? So 8 inches.
Yeah.
So her answer was that, what she says generally when children ask, so it's something spiritual, that which we cannot measure with our physical measurement. So
Exactly.
it's 8 inches long. It can even stay in the amoeba as well, right? So
Yeah.
that's what she was saying.
Hmm. That's also I heard that, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Maybe, what I'm saying is it's pure speculation because I've not heard from anyone, but I'm trying to reason. The Lord's form is, first of all, very subtle. So the Lord doesn't have to fit into the body frame of an atom or an insect or into the body frame of a living being like us. So, though it has been given as 8 inches for our understanding, if you remember when Parikshit Maharaj, was saved in the womb, the size of the Lord is given as the size of a thumb, which is about 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
So the Lord's form, depending on the situation, we also know that Virat Rupa and all these forms are not fixed. They can change with every context. So, what we can take is its relative size for the human body because it's being spoken to the human beings. The others, it may not really matter what size it is. So that's, again, it's pure speculation on my side.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is
I
true
know.
or yeah.
It's interesting that it's Sukadeva Goswami doesn't say that he's 8 inches. It's only Prabhupada. Maybe that Pradesha Madram he translates as measuring only 8 inches. And furthermore, is the Prabhupada he's telling clearly which hand is what. So we only can follow them.
Yeah, Prabhuji. And one thing you said stuck in me, what you said was, if that description is not given in that detail, then that also becomes speculation.
Yeah.
So that is true, So now we don't have to speculate about the form.
Yeah.
And, so thank you so much.
We have the clear things written down in Sanskrit and English. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, dear devotees. I pray for your blessings to get a little drop of devotion and get to the position of pleasing you. So from tomorrow, it's going to be beautiful descriptions. Go for it. How the Lord is smiling, and then it's a spiritual body. So wish you all a very wonderful time. All of us a wonderful time. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.